everybody. As you could see, I just walked out of Ari Molenaar Motors because today actually is going to be a first. I just dropped off the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S for its service because it's going to have this first 1000 kilometer service, and out there going to put on the spoke rims and the new blinkers of Rizoma. So I'm very curious to look how that is going to look. But as a first on this channel for KTM is that I'm going to do my first comparison, because Ari was so kind to lend me one of his KTM 1290 Super Duke GT. That is the Super Adventure S. This is not my bike, but that's the type I have. That is the one that I'm going to take with me just for a couple of, well, I hope a little bit more than an hour, because I'm going to ride that motorcycle and compare the GT with the Super Adventure S. I'm very curious to see what the differences are and how that bike will feel compared to that KTM Super Adventure S. Because the reason that I wanted to make this video is that some of the people that I knew, they were asking me, oh, you need to test drive the KTM 1290 Super Duke GT. And maybe some other viewers of this channel, they are looking at like, what do I want? I want to have that adventure look, or I want to have that GT road kind of look, because I'm never going to go off-road. So yeah, without further ado, let's go and hop on the GT. All right, we're now seated on the GT, and well, the first thing that comes to mind is when I've started to sit on it and swoop my leg over this machine, how light it is. It is so light. Also the seating, it's lighter compared to the KTM Super Adventure S. Also the seat is a bit more firm, but let's see how it starts. The side stand is in, and there it goes. Comes to life. Into gear, and let's go for a short ride. It is very quick. My gosh, you saw the traction control already kicking in there, and I was barely at some speed on the throttle. So here we go in a corner. Yeah, this is sport bike. This is more sport bike territory. The way this feels on how it's, yeah, this is sport bike. It makes me laugh out loud. That's a good sign. So yeah, this is sport bike material. Oh.
And also
a quarter to
there, it just dropped in RPM. But we managed. Everything is okay. I've test ridden my KTM 1290 Super Adventure S as well on these roads. So let's see how the GT is going. I must say the difference between this machine is like in the high RPMs this thing is so quick. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. That is a very big difference compared to my KTM. Is that in the high revs it is pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls. I must say, just in relaxed riding mode, I must say that the KTM, yeah, the SES is way more comfortable. But just also here, this road is so nice. Just, here you go. And there, 100 plus kilometers, way too fast, and you pull that throttle and it already, the TC starts to, the traction control starts to kick in, like on higher speeds. Yeah, this thing is just pure menace. It is, yeah, it's just crazy. I know I went way too fast over there in so I test drove the as I said earlier, I test drove the SAS here as well, and so yeah, there is more strain on your wrists, I must say. You're in a more aggressive riding mode, and I think in terms of when you're braking as well, you're also there's more strain on your wrists. There are some Dutch pages there, none, and an irritated looking man behind that car. Typical Dutch. And here as well, the TC is just even above 7,000 or 8,000 RPM. This machine just asks for it to go fast. And the front end feels very planted, because you just feel that there's more weight on the front end. And you have a feeling that you know what's going on in the motorcycle. So here we have got a bit of a more crappy road condition. Alright, we're gonna go for the return trip. Tight turn. Let's see, are we okay? Yeah, we're okay. Fine. Alright, return trip. And there goes the front. Even with the traction control, the front end wants to go into the air. Let's see how this is feeling. Hello, people that I just passed. Hello. Yeah, the power delivery is so smooth. Oh, Benny! I saw Benny. Did you see, guys? Hello, Benny. Third gear, maybe second gear, slow corner. Keep the throttle a bit steady. Mr. Farmer. Yeah, this thing is, yeah, it is so quick. I'm speechless. Alright, that seems like a good spot as any in order to stop and have a quick chat about this machine. Alright, I just came off the KTM. So, where shall we start? Good question. So maybe let's go for the apparel or the apparent stuff and go for the looks department, right? So I'm gonna walk around the bike and, well, I think this is very much personal. What bike do you think looks better? My bike, the Super Adventure S, or is it gonna be the GT? All right, first. It has a spoiler. Okay, my opinion. What do I think looks better? Well, in the front end, I must say, yeah, I kind of like it. It is sporty. It's like a hawk. I'm not sure if I like the lights though in the sides. It just looks okay. It's just a different bike, I think. There's one thing actually that I do very much like better than on the Super Adventure S, and that is this. It's the bridge where the rear tire, yeah, meets the chain. That sprocket over there. It looks more beefy. It looks more strong compared to the chain drive, or let's say the back end of the Super Adventure S. So this win for the GT, according to me. Then the exhaust. Yeah, what do I think? Well, stock exhausts, I always hate them. I find them too big, yeah. But there are tons of options from Austin Racing or other kind of, yeah, Akrapovic, of course. And this is, well, the belly pan with the, I'm not sure what that is actually, but this is kind of cool. Nice. And then the engine, almost, yeah, the same. And then the front end again. All right, in terms of the specs department. According to KTM, this monster has 141 Newton meters of torque. And it has almost 175 horsepower. So this thing, it is a monster. I believe the 1290 normal one, just a naked bike, that has 180 brake horsepower. So that is seriously a lot. If you then compare that to the Super Adventure S, and excuse me googling here, but hey, I just don't have all the specs on top of my mind. It has 138 Newton meters, so my motorcycle has 138 Newton meters of torque. And in terms of horsepower, I believe that it had 160. But let me check that. Yeah, 160. So this beast has 15 brake horsepower more compared to the KTM Super Adventure S. So let's say in the power department, this thing is going to rip apart the Super Adventure S. However, after just experiencing this machine in the corners, and maybe that is also a big part related to my riding skills, I leave that in the middle. I think in terms of corner handling, because of the center of gravity of the KTM and the way the steering handlebar or the handlebar is set up, the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S is just better suited for slow cornering handling. I think there the Super Adventure S has the clear advantage. In terms of sheer speed and maybe more track-focused riding, this thing will probably win against the Super Adventure S, but I'm not sure over there. If I then go into, yeah, sure, people that want to ride on a track that they are not going to probably opt for the Adventure S machine or the Super Duke GT machine. They might just go for a completely different, more race-orientated motorcycle. But if you want to have like a bike that can do almost everything at once, or is able to do almost everything, yeah, I think either one is quick. But in the terms of power, yeah, this thing is just it. When you just give it the full beans, this is menacingly quick. It is just wow.
Wow, what a feeling.
You just get mind boggled by it. So if you want to have a quick bike, go for this one. If you want to have another quick bike, the Super Adventure S is no silly bugger as well in that department. So then, in terms of seating position and cornering and how I find the overall comfort of the motorcycle. Since when you're sitting on a motorcycle, you're a little bit more tilt forward, you're having a more, let's say, strain on your wrists. Clearly, the Super Adventure S has the advantage in terms of comfort. I forgot to add the wind protection. Wind protection is actually very good on the KTM Super Duke GT. It is more or less comparable to the Super Adventure S. However, I think the S has the advantage due to its bigger front end. However, the front screen, it does a really nice job in keeping you out of the wind. So, comfortable in that department. The comfort zone or the comfort of the seating position and how it rides and also the seating on the Super Adventure S is better compared than the Super Duke GT. Also the way it feels in the corner, it feels more dancing. Let's say that you're higher up and you really have a, let's say almost a floating feeling on when in slower corners going from the left to the right side. This thing you need to, as well with the power department, you just need to play with that power a bit more in order to really get it going. However, the front end of this machine, very light. That is way lighter than the Super Adventure S. In this department, I did a couple of things wrong, so I am rectifying that. With regards to the tech pack, or let's say the software enhancement, you can opt in for both bikes. The only difference between these two is that the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S has the exclusive ACC or Adaptive Cruise Control. The other things like MTC MSR, the tech pack or the quick shifter, adaptive brake lights, etc. All of that is available on both bikes. So in terms of options and software and features in that department, both bikes are great. There's no real, let's say, difference in that department. I think the biggest difference is in department of looks, also how the back wheel looks, the way you seat, so the seating position. This is more a sports machine kind of riding. Also looking at the seat, so if you want to have a BMW comparison between the GT, I would go for the S1000 XR. But in terms of the power, this thing is quicker. But I find, it rides great. But if you then ask me what I want to have in a motorcycle, so my preference in this is in this setup, I want to have a motorcycle that I can take out on almost anything and just have a great feeling. I want to have a bit of fear from the machine, but I also want to be able to do some real cornering and then be able to ride it home for a long stretch of road. Could you do that on the GT? Easily. It is a great machine. It rides fantastic. It has all the options, heated grips, and you have all the factory options that you want to have for a nice, comfortable ride. But for me, in that department, and for me that is the most important department, I would go for my own bike, luckily, for the Super Adventure S. Because that motorcycle has all the things that I want to have in a motorcycle. It has the way, the seating position, and also the way it feels in the corners. For me, that just gives me that just a little bit more, let's say, reassurance and trust in the machine. But that being said, this machine is crazy. It is fast, it sounds great, it looks great. So if you want to have a sporty bike and maybe you started from a racer bike, you went to a naked bike and you want to go a little bit on that more comfortable zone, this is seriously a good option to consider. If you want to maybe go to, maybe you started on an adventure bike and you want to go a little bit more on the aggressive side, you want to have that really a little bit more edge, but you don't want to lose that, let's say, functionality of a touring machine, this is certainly one bike that you need to consider. But as always, motorcycles are very, very personal. It is very much in your own, you need to feel the machine in order to understand what choices you want to make. So in that sense, I would go and advise, go to a KTM dealer nearby, have a test ride and see what suits you best. In terms of pricing, these two are also very much comparable. It depends a bit. If you go on the 1290 Super Adventure S models, currently they are late 2024 and some dealers still have stock. They are about 25,000 in base price. If you then want to compare the new, so these are new prices, and if you go to the Super Duke GT, I found online around 26,000. So in terms of price, both machines do not really differ that much. Of course, when you start clicking options and you want to have maybe pannier set and those kind of things, that is very much personal. So with that being said, I'm going to jump on this motorcycle again and bring it back to Arie Molenaar, for who I want to thank very much. I really hope that you like this video of me talking about this machine, comparing this one to the Super Adventure S. My choice, my own bike. I'm very happy. Thank you. Otherwise I would have made a stupid decision and I would need to go back to the motorcycle dealership, and yeah, you don't want that. So everybody, for the followers that started following this channel, I really thank you of all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. I really hope you like the content on this channel. If you have questions or remarks, or maybe you want to have, you want to know a little bit extra, I try to react on almost every comment on the channel, as long as I can do that. Please consider to leave a like and a subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. See ya.